I'm joined now by two of the cast, two of the leads of AMC's Better Call Saul, Mr. Bob Odenkirk and Ms. Rhea Seehorn, as well as co-creator and executive producer Peter Gould. So, guys, you just last month wrapped up your 5th season, which, you know, for people who haven't seen it, I'm just going to do this, and you'll get it. A lot happened in this season that I think really shocked people, even those of us who've been watching the entire run, and those of us, of course, who watched previously on Breaking Bad. We're going to talk about all that, but beforehand, we have a very poignant clip from episode 6 of season 5 of Better Call Saul.
Okay, Kim, look, I said I was sorry. And again, it worked. No way that Rich or Paige could believe that we were in cahoots, because guess what? We weren't. Acker gets to keep his home, plus a nice chunk of change. Olivia Bitsui gets reparations for being cheated. And Kevin still gets his call center. Everybody wins.
You win, Jimmy.
What?
You win.
Yeah. But, I mean, will we win? Us.
No, I didn't.
What didn't you get that you wanted?
I don't trust you.
Why?
You played me. You made me the sucker. Again.
Again? What? Wait, how can you be the sucker? It was your plan.
Oh, fuck you, Jimmy. God. You know what? I can't do this anymore.
Kim, I was just...
No, you turned you and me versus the bank into you versus me. And it is not just this. It's the same thing over and over again.
No, I kept things from you to protect you. Look, if I got caught and, God forbid, you're questioned under oath, you have plausible deniability.
Jesus, Jimmy. You can excuse stabbing me in the back by making it about protecting me? Is that really supposed to justify everything?
Okay, Kim, I'm sorry. All right? It will never happen again.
That's a lie.
Well, I swear, it won't.
Look me in the eye and tell me it'll never happen again. You can't. I don't believe you. You don't believe yourself. It is a lie. You lie. I lie. This has to end. I cannot keep living like this.
No.
Jimmy,
we can
shut up.
fix
Jimmy,
this.
Jimmy. You know this has to change. If you don't see it, I don't know what to say, because we are at a breaking point.
God.
Either we end this now, and enjoy the time we had and go our separate ways, or we're...
Or what?
Or we're I mean... Or maybe... Maybe we get married.
Very romantic. And I would say very true to form. I mean, I think in between Jimmy and Kim and all the twists we've seen in their relationship and the evolution, so much so. But I will say, probably the way a lot of marriage proposals have ended up coming up in many a household. Peter, I know for viewers, you know, some of the response when that episode aired, they were, as they have been throughout the series many times, blown away and unexpected. Where did you guys come up with the idea of bringing the marriage proposal out of what was clearly, right up until those last few seconds, the breakup speech?
Well, that's an interesting question. For a long time, we had the idea that always tickled me that this was a couple who got an office together for love and got married for business reasons. Having said that, you know, you have these thoughts that are kind of in the back of your mind, but until the characters are ready, until the moment is there, you can't do them. And it really felt like Jimmy had pushed Kim as far as he could. And really the logical thing, at least as we were thinking about it, the logical thing for her was really to break up, but she doesn't want to. And I think she doesn't want to break up. And also there's this trap door, which is that if they're married, she can't be forced to testify against him. And so there's sort of an excuse But having said all that, that's all logic. What's beautiful about that scene is how passionate both these characters are, and what an amazing job Bob and Ray did with the scene. And by the way, what an amazing job Tom Schnauz did writing that scene.
So Bob and Ray, one of the things coming out of this season, and it's been a season that's seen so many twists and turns and a great evolution in the relationship between Jimmy and Kim. I wanted to get a sense from the two of you about where you see these two characters at now. Whenever fans talk about the show, inevitably they talk about as it pushes up towards Breaking Bad. But at this point, I feel like that rule book has been all thrown out now. I kind of think that Kim is about to become Saul, not Jimmy.
Bob, you want to speak to that?
I agree, Dominic. I mean, look, Peter can listen in. I'm speaking as a fan of the show in this department because I don't write this show. But from my observation, you know, this mystery at the start of the show was, who is Saul Goodman? Who is he really? And then we kind of met this Jimmy McGill character. We got to know many sides of him, and we saw him evolve into Saul. And last year, he kind of got there as far as his personal commitment to it. He said, this is what I'm definitely going to do. I can feel the wind beneath my wings when I go this route. I'm going to legally have that name and present myself that way. And then this year, I think he saw the stakes of that choice by interacting with the cartel and getting into a spot in the desert. And, you know, he sees that it's life or death, this choice played the way he's played it. So he's just becoming familiar with that part of it. But he's more than well on his road. So to some degree, I feel like that initial mystery that the show started with, we get it. We know what it is. There's still a lot of fun to watch as he navigates his way down this hole. But now the mystery is, who is Kim? Now we met Kim. We thought we really knew who she was. But then there were these little glimpses of another side of her that were kind of a little screwy and didn't really match up. And then at the very end of season 5 is a moment, an extended moment, that really makes me as a viewer go, okay, wait a second.
Yeah. Ray, we got a real sense of Kim's backstory here, sort of under the perfectionist veneer that we had known for so long. And, you know, as we learned more about her and where she came from, there are parts of where we see that penultimate episode where she basically drills down Lalo and tells him, like, if you want to be a real drug dealer, get your shit together and get out of my apartment. And then also in the final episode of the season where she plans her revenge on Howard in a way that even leaves Bob's character, Jimmy, stunned that this can happen. He kind of tries to talk her back and she won't go there. Do you feel like this is the Kim that's always been there and she's just been waiting to come out? And more importantly, as an actor, how have you brought that process to life?
I feel lucky that I did not think of this as one giant arc of this mask coming off, nor do I think that, and Peter would have to speak to what they were writing, when they knew what, and when they decided what. But I feel grateful that my job the whole time was to play the decisions in the moment with the information she had each time, and that they were incremental. And it is sometimes indecipherable whether it is this something that was always in her that she's been suppressing with the very controlled persona that she puts forth, or is this something that is being raised out of her? But all along, from the very first episode, from our pilot episode, I thought, I think she's raised by an alcoholic. And I didn't go tell Peter and Vince that. It was for me filling in the jigsaw puzzle, taking the pieces that are there, these brilliant scripts that have as much loaded in not speaking as speaking. And I thought, wow, she is extremely controlled about what she says and the economy of language and what she wants people to know that she's thinking. So why don't I extend that to her physicality? Maybe she also does not like people to be able to know what she's thinking, you know, visually from gestures or body language. And that made me very still. And then in the script, after Jimmy and I share one sentence, couldn't you just, you know, I can't. I got from that she has extreme boundaries about work. And then it says she cleans up the trash can he kicked without looking, which obviously says he's done it a million times. But I also thought to myself, she seems to have some sort of incredible, intense intimacy. It didn't matter at the time to me whether it was romantic, and I was still sorting that out. But this intense connection with someone who presents some kind of chaos. Her response to that is to be extremely controlling about the environment so nothing blows up. And she also cleans up his messes without even thinking about it. I thought, oh, you have an alcoholic for a parent. I just kept adding to things like that as we went. And many of them did come to the surface. Many of them were surprises. And I don't know where we're going. But I feel very lucky that I was allowed to play it honestly, incrementally, a step at a time.
Looking forward to season 6. How far are you guys along? And is this evolution going to be playing a big part in the next season?
We have a lot of ideas about where Jimmy and Kim are going. And I will say there are a few things that came up in the last couple of weeks, even though we've been working remotely, which I don't love, but there's some ideas which I'm so excited about, but there's also a lot of sadness to where this is going.
Well, there's no sadness in having the three of you join us today. I really thank you, Bob, Ray, and Peter. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure. You guys had a magnificent season. We know there's going to be much more greatness. I hope you guys are well, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Dom.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Dominic.